Welcome to the Most Valuable Lessons book discussion podcast. The book discussion podcast topic for today is the Atomic Habits book by James Clear.
Ever feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill when it comes to making progress?
Yeah.
Like you'd kill for a shortcut to actually reach your goals?
Totally.
Well, today's deep dive is all about swapping that boulder for a snowball.
Okay.
And believe it or not, the snowball strategy might get us further.
Interesting.
We're exploring the world of Atomic Habits by James Clear,
Okay.
and we've got a fantastic video summary from Successful by Design to guide us.
Great.
Now, the book throws us a bit of a curveball right off the bat.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
It suggests that just fixating on gray less might not be the secret sauce we thought it was.
Interesting.
Instead, it's about building systems.
Okay.
A bit of a head scratcher, right?
Right, because we're conditioned to think about that finish line,
Mm-hmm.
that big, shiny goal.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. Imagine two people, both determined to run a marathon.
Okay.
One spends all their energy daydreaming about the medal at the end, while the other focuses on creating a system, a consistent training schedule,
Yeah.
the right nutrition, all of it.
Makes sense.
Who do you think is more likely to be lacing up their sneakers when motivation dips?
The one with the system?
Exactly.
Okay. So it's less about wishing for a magic wand
Yeah.
and more about setting up the scaffolding to actually build the thing.
Yes.
Makes sense, but how do we actually do that?
Right.
Well, Atomic Habits dives into the mechanics of how habits work,
Okay.
introducing us to something called the habit loop.
The habit loop, yeah.
This habit loop, it's like a hidden code
It's a cycle.
running in the background of our brains, and once
Mm.
you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it, no.
So how does this habit loop actually play out?
Well, it's a four-stage cycle. Cue, craving, response, reward, response, reward.
Right.
Each stage sets the next in motion, whether it's a, quote-unquote good habit
Great.
or a bad one.
Okay.
They all follow the same cycle.
Yeah. So let's say it's late. You're snuggled up in bed, but you can't resist one last scroll through social media.
We've all been there.
The late hour, that's your cue.
Yep.
The craving is that little dopamine flip. Scrolling is your response. And the reward, well, it's that feeling of being in the loop,
Of being connected,
even if it means losing sleep.
even if it means losing sleep, yeah.
But here's the thing. Atomic Habits suggests that we can use this knowledge to engineer positive habits, too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like learning the rules of the game so you can start winning.
Exactly.
And that's where these 4 laws of behavior change come in.
Right.
Make it obvious.
Yes.
Make it attractive, make it easy,
Make it satisfying.
and make it satisfying. Okay, so make it obvious. This is about mastering those cues, right?
Absolutely. One of those powerful strategies here is something Clear calls habit stacking.
Habit stacking.
Yeah. So imagine you're trying to build the habit of meditating every morning, but you keep hitting the snooze button instead.
Oh, tell me about it.
Instead of battling that urge, try linking it to an existing habit.
Okay.
Maybe, after I pour my first cup of coffee, I will meditate for 2 minutes.
I like that.
You're essentially using an existing routine as a launch pad for a new one.
It's like that old saying, success leaves clues.
Right.
You're not starting from scratch. You're building on what's already working.
Exactly.
It makes those new habits feel less daunting
Right.
and more like a natural extension of your day.
Yeah.
But what about those habits that feel more like chores than joys?
Yeah.
How do we make it attractive?
This is where things get fun.
Okay.
Clear talks about a strategy called temptation bundling,
Temptation bundling.
and it's pretty ingenious.
Okay.
Remember that guilty pleasure TV show we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
What if you only allowed yourself to watch it while walking on the treadmill?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
You're essentially pairing something you want to do with something you need to do,
Right.
creating a positive feedback loop.
Okay, I love that. And honestly, sometimes I need a little extra motivation to push past the resistance,
Sure.
which leads us to make it easy.
Right.
This one feels particularly relevant in our fast-paced world,
Yeah,
where everything feels like it needs to be done yesterday.
absolutely. And I think a lot of people will relate to that feeling of overwhelm.
Yes.
But Clear argues that we often sabotage ourselves by trying to do too much too soon.
Oh, for sure.
He uses the example of flossing.
Okay.
Instead of trying to floss all your teeth perfectly, start with just one.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
It sounds a bit silly,
Yeah.
but the point is to make the initial action so ridiculously easy that you can't help but follow through.
Okay, I admit, flossing one tooth made me chuckle.
Right.
But it actually makes a lot of sense.
It does.
It reminds me of something I read about how micro-commitments, those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions, can create a ripple effect, building momentum towards bigger change.
Absolutely. It's the snowball effect we were talking about.
Exactly, the snowball effect.
And that brings us to the final law. Make it satisfying.
Okay.
We're wired to seek out rewards, so it's crucial to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Celebrate the small wins.
Clear talks about the power of visual reinforcement. Things like habit trackers,
Habit trackers, I love those.
or even just marking off days on a calendar.
Yes, I'm a very visual person, so that really resonates with me.
Right.
There's something so satisfying about seeing a streak of successful days.
It's motivating.
It's like tangible proof that you're making progress.
Right.
Even if the changes feel small in the moment.
And it's not just about checking off boxes.
It's not.
It's about the sense of identity you build with each success.
Identity, okay.
Which leads us to, I think, the most powerful part of Clear's book.
It's that idea of shifting from like, what do I want to achieve, to who do I want to become.
Yes.
That's where the real magic happens.
Exactly. It's the difference between saying, I want to write a book,
Right.
and saying, I am a writer.
Okay.
One is a goal, the other is an identity.
I like that.
And what's so fascinating is when we embrace that identity,
Yeah.
those small, seemingly insignificant habits, they take on a whole new meaning.
It's like each action becomes a brushstroke painting the picture of the person you're becoming.
Exactly.
Instead of forcing yourself to go for a run, you are a runner.
Right.
That's simply what runners do.
It changes your whole perspective.
Yeah, it's a powerful mental shift.
It is.
Thinking about it, one identity shift I've been playing with lately is becoming a more present person,
Okay.
less phone at dinner,
Right.
more genuine connection with the people around me.
I love that. Such a good one.
What about you? What identity are you working on shifting?
You know, for me, it's about embracing the identity of a lifelong learner.
Okay.
Just that feeling that there's always something new to discover, a new
Yeah.
perspective to consider.
Yeah.
It makes even the most mundane tasks feel like opportunities for growth.
Love that. And speaking of growth, the video summary ends with a really practical tool that anyone listening can use to start putting these ideas into action today.
Mm-hmm.
That's the habit scorecard, right?
The habit scorecard, exactly.
So how do we actually use this habit scorecard?
It's about bringing awareness to your existing habits.
Okay.
So grab a notebook or your phone, and for a few days, just observe
Okay.
what are the cues that trigger your actions throughout the day.
Cues. Okay.
What are the rewards you're seeking, consciously or unconsciously?
So it's like holding up a mirror to your day-to-day,
Yeah.
revealing those automatic patterns.
Right, those things we do without even thinking.
That we don't even realize are driving our choices.
Well, yeah.
And once you have that awareness, then what?
Then you're in a much better position to make conscious choices about which habits are serving you
Okay.
and which ones might need a little tweaking.
So it's about taking back control.
Yes, exactly.
So there you have it. We journeyed through the core concepts of atomic habits, from the power of systems to the 4 laws of behavior change, and finally to that amazing identity-based approach.
And all those little steps can lead to big changes.
Remember, it's not about overnight transformations or striving for perfection.
No, it's about progress, not perfection, right?
It's about those small, consistent actions, those atomic habits that compound over time and ultimately lead us to becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And as you embark on your own journey of building better habits, here's a final thought to ponder. What if, instead of focusing on breaking bad habits, we put all our energy into building new, positive ones? Could it be that in cultivating the good, the bad simply fades away? Something to think about as you start applying these powerful principles to your own life.
Thank you for watching. Please help to like and subscribe to our channel to get notifications for future videos from our channel.